Hello, my name is Cooper, and today I'm going to be talking about my utopia. And those of you that don't know what utopia is, it's pretty much like a perfect world, and where everyone's happy and everyone gets along and whatnot. So these are some of my ideas, my opinions, that of things of how we could change some things and kind of make this world, a better place. Now, not all of this is going to be like completely final drafted because, of course, these are just my general, simple ideas. This is kind of like a rough draft of, some laws and some, regulations and stuff like that that would be put in place. Because you can't have a utopia with anarchy. There has to be some kind of structure, but I feel like none of the countries, none of the governments, none of the monarchies, dictatorships, none of them have quite gotten it right yet. And I believe the reason is because of power and money. And I think that if we could, tone down the value of money a little bit, it would make the world, move a little bit more. Because, too many people, the problem with money, which is kind of like my first topic besides a short first topic, is money. Money is the cause of really the reason why you know our world isn't working the way it should right now because it's all about money, which money brings more power. So, the rich stay rich, the poor stay poor because, those rich people that, the government of people, they're not helping out the poor at all with the money situations. They could easily pay off, the debt and all that if they wanted to, but they refuse to spend money because they know the more money they have, the more power they have. Now, the first legit reason or the first legit topic that I wanted to talk about is equal food distribution. And this is because I believe that if everyone was given either the same amount of food or a certain amount of, currency to pay for food, there would be less crime. Now, you're thinking, well, how does food equal crime? And now, my reasonable explanation for this would be, you know, food is very like that's the number one reason why people steal is because they need money for food. Now I'm not saying that people don't steal for drugs and alcohol, but the biggest reason why people steal is for to just feed their family. Now that also brings me into poverty. If we could wipe out poverty too this way as well, with other reasons that I'm going to explain later on this video. It's not just food. Food's not the answer to everything, but it does help a little bit, and maybe even more than people would actually believe to think, because you think about people that are in poverty. Most people think about big cities, the hood and everything, and the reason why I think that in the hood things don't quite work out the way that people want it to do too is because they're automatically labeled as bad people, people that steal, people that fight, gangs. And the reason why I believe, now this is my personal opinion, why, gangs exist is because they know that they're not going to get out of the hood. Now, I'm not saying that no one ever gets out of the hood because that would be a lie, flat out, because there are the select few people that, do get out of the hood and make a decent living for themselves, if not a great living. But for a majority of people, at a young age, they get so involved with it, whether or not, they just feel like this is the only life for them and they choose not to, progress and get out. Or they get a criminal background very early in their life because, they get arrested for selling drugs or, gang related reasons. And, that just puts a permanent mark on their, you know, puts a permanent mark on themselves before they even really get their life going. Now, I believe that the reason for gangs, is because that's their way of showing power in their own little world. Because in reality, the ghetto or, the suburb, I mean, yeah, the ghetto, sorry about that. The ghetto is, it's their own little world pretty much if you really think about it, because not a lot of people like to go in there. It's kind of just that one small group of community, and gangs is their way of showing power in their community. And the reason why they steal, of course, is because they can't get real jobs because of their criminal backgrounds, and so selling drugs and stealing is really the only way that they can put food on the table, or even, possibly feed their addictions, because, life's just, it's not a great life in just, honesty, because so some of them deal with it with drugs and alcohol to kind of, put the pain to the side and whatnot, which is really sad, but that's just something that they were born into, and some of them just can't get out, and it's not their fault. It's just that, that's the only life that they know, and that's what they were raised into. And I feel bad because it's it's really not their fault. And if our government would just take time to, rebuild those communities and give some of those people a chance, that do want the chance and are actually legit, like, looking for it. Like, even if you're like afraid, because they were like, if someone sells drugs or does drugs and they get arrested for it, that doesn't make them a bad person, that's my personal belief. That is, you can't put someone that sells drugs in the same category as someone that murders. That's completely different. So people that sell drugs should be able to get a job. People that smoke weed should be able to get a job. There's no reason that they shouldn't be able to get a job, but in our government here in America, it makes it impossible for them to get a job, which I think is just ridiculous, and it's just stupid. But I'm just a 20-year-old kid that doesn't know anything. But yeah, so pretty much I believe that if we could, break off this whole, higher level, lower level groups of people, the world would be a much better place. If we actually truly, you know, did what we preach, we preach equality and, freedom and all that stuff, but really there is no freedom in America at all. Those of you from other countries don't get blinded by the American dream or anything like that. Though I do have to say, if you are from another country, like say you come from Asia, the Asian countries, or, Mexico, our government does treat you guys better than they treat us. That's just the flat honest truth. You guys get free schooling, you guys get your own businesses, they give you a bunch of loans and stuff to get started in America, which is kind of bullshit if you really think about it, but it does kind of bring in, smarter people. But again, it's kind of bullcrap that our government treats outsiders better than our own kind, which is kind of, it's just their way of kind of, showing you guys that, hey, look, we're not really that bad, but really we are. But yeah. So anyways, poverty, if we could just cancel that, I think that would be a really good spot. Now, I'm trying not to get too, like, jumping all over the place, which I may do in this video, which I do apologize if I do. Try to kind of pick up the little things I'm talking about as I go. Which brings me to my next thing, is free school. I believe that if school was free, more people would go to college, more people would be able to get a better education, and, people would be able to learn more things, and, the country that we're in or whatever, because, this utopia, there'd be more intelligent people out there. Now, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I haven't gone to college myself because of reasons of not of being able to afford it, not being able to get the financial aid to go and do it, and, and I mean, I'm still, like, an intelligent-ish person. Like, I'm not the most intelligent person, but, I'm also have my dumb days, and, I say stupid crap. Some people don't take me serious sometimes because of, my views, my beliefs, or possibly because, I act like a weirdo. But, it's all because I believe life is all about having fun. Again, I'm getting on that sidetrack thing that I was talking about earlier. But, my view in life is to be happy, help as many people as possible, and, just overall just have an amazing experience, because you only get one life, and, it shouldn't be in fear or, struggling to get by and then just making yourself miserable or having miserable family members because of it and whatnot. So anyways, with this, I believe that if we made schools free, more people would be more educated, more people would be able to, learn the things that they actually truly want to learn and be able to get the job that they want. Which is another thing that I wanted to talk about, was jobs, and I believe that every job should be equally paid. There's no, You know, like those people on talk show hosts or athletes that get paid millions of dollars to do an easy job. Now, I'm not saying athletes, you know, they actually, you know, have talent and everything, but I'm saying like talk show hosts that are making millions of dollars, you know, anyone could do that job. Anyone could be a talk show host. Anyone could do it. As long as you don't have stage fright. That's the only thing that would, you know, hold you back from doing that. But you know, why do they make more money than someone that's a construction worker, or, you know, someone that, you know, busts their ass all day in a stone quarry, or, you know, people that do things that actually help other people, you know, building roads and stuff like that, you know, even a librarian, even though those are kind of outdated a little bit today, but because of, you know, all the digital books and whatnot. But what I really want, you know, what I believe is that if we gave every, you know, company, business, you know, job title, uh, the same amount of money, the workers, everyone made the same flat wage, you know, it would make the economy better. It would make it. Now, this isn't like communism or anything like that. You are free to choose whatever job you want. You go to school, school's free. You go, learn what you want, and then the best will fight for the position, which will, you know, ultimately choose, you know, the best, and you'll be doing the job because you love it, not because it makes more money. Now, this would cancel out all those asshole doctors, all those douchebag cops, you know, all those people that, you know, are corrupt and only looking for the money and don't really like the job at all, but they just got the job because they wanted the money that came with it. Now, I believe that this would easily make the world, you know, a better place if we had people that are doing the job because of the love of it and not because of the money. You know, again, money is corruption, money is power, and if you can cancel out as much of the power and money as you can, the world would just be a better place, in general. Now, the reason why I want a flat rate is because, you know, again, this is all about equality. Everyone's getting the same benefits as everyone. The only thing that will make, you know, you different from your neighbor or other family members or whatever is the way that you spend your money. Now, this being, you know, upgrading your home, upgrading your vehicle, you know, buying materialistic items, or even just saving it, because, you know, because you still are gonna have to pay for gas, you're still gonna have to pay for, you know, clothes and all that stuff, you know, not all that's going to be free, you know, so you're going to have to spend money on that, but it's the way that you spend your money is what's going to set you apart from everyone else. Now, this is the way, you know, I'm just trying to cut out all the bullshit that the government does and all the bad stuff. Now, a lot of people probably are going to disagree with me and of course say like, well, you know, things are going all right here, but really they're not, you know. You could cut out so much stuff if you would just do the equal. I'm all about, you know, equal rights, you know, and I don't believe America does enough to help out everyone. I believe America is all for yourself, and it's whoever has money in the beginning that has an upper hand automatically. If you're born in a rich family, you automatically have an upper hand on someone that's born, you know, in, you know, a trailer park or in the slums, or, you know, you just automatically have the upper hand, and, you know, it's just wrong. You know, yeah. So I mean, and I believe that, you know, I just believe that no profit would be better. You know, by no profit and jobs, I mean, like, you know, the food corporations don't make bajillions of dollars off of, you know, processed food and whatnot. No, I believe that, like, if you go to the doctors, you pay that doctor bill, that money that you get, that extra money you pay, the doctor gets his money. He gets that flat rate no matter what. But the extra money that you pay goes towards it, like the taxes or whatever. They're probably not going to be taxes, but whatever you want to call it, the profit and whatnot, it's going towards the medicine, you know, the research. That's what all that money's going to go to, you know, go towards, you know, roads and stuff like that. All profit will go towards that stuff. There will be no money in the government at all. It'll all go straight towards everything that it's intended to go to. Um, and this is why I believe, you know, it's just going to automatically be in your doctor's bill, that certain amount of money or whatever, the tax or whatever you want to call it. And that's just the way that we're going to, you know, help build things. now people are gonna say things like, well, with population getting bigger and whatnot, um, what another thing that I thought of was, if we could get people to just commit to only 2 children, that would help out a lot. Some people are like, oh, I like big families or whatnot. I know personally a couple people that have 8 children just for frickin' income checks, which is kind of, it's sick, it's twisted, but it's just there are those people out there that do that, and it doesn't help the economy, it doesn't help anything. It really doesn't help themselves because they're struggling too the rest of the year. But you know, it's just there's so much stuff that we could change. I'm not saying we have to have a revolution, or that these are like perfect ideas or anything like that. I'm just saying that these are ideas. These are things that we could do, and it may work, it may not. You never know. Like unless you try. So many people are used to the way that things are going now that they're afraid to try something new. People are afraid of revolution, but Thomas Jefferson himself said that you know, every era, every age should have a revolution. The reason why I believe that he said this is because with technology constantly growing and the world's constantly changing, that he believed, and I also believe, that you need revolutions because governments become outdated, ways of thinking become outdated, and you have to keep adapting. The world has to keep changing, and you have to adapt with the change that comes with that. So the way that you could do this, like I believe, like what I'm explaining would be a nice thing to try. It would be awesome to try and just see where it goes, but I just feel like there's just so much that we can do and change. Like I'm not the best spokesperson in the world, as you can tell. Like I'm kind of like nervous, and I stumble on my words a lot, and I say a lot and like and all that stupid stuff. But it's because yeah, there's just so much we could do, and there's so many possibilities. And even if we could just even not do a revolution but just break away and find some island somewhere, those are the people that want to try something like this. We could go and try it peacefully, and if it fails, then all other countries can laugh at us and be like, haha, told you, you guys are idiots. But if we succeed, then you could be like, oh shit, that actually works, and be like, oh, I should have listened to that guy. Or we could do the revolution and, completely wipe out a country and, make our own new country off of their land. Now, of course, these views and thoughts, I did take some from, other countries, America itself, and these aren't, set laws at all, like I said in the beginning of the video, or anything like that. These are just rough drafts. And I believe, if we actually took the time, found some people that were legit into this, and wrote down some real laws and, put them into effect like that, and because we're still going to have, police officers and stuff, um, you know, drugs are going to be legal, because in my views, if you want to corrupt your body, that's on you, because putting you in jail doesn't help anything, and it really doesn't solve anything, because you're still going to do it no matter what. Um, you know, and weed, marijuana, whatever you want to call it, it's not bad for you. It's not good for you either, because anything that you inhale. But you could turn it into, like, you can break it down, you could drink it, you could put it into stuff. You don't have to smoke it. So there are, for like cancer patients and stuff like that, there are benefits from marijuana, and it shouldn't be illegal. I mean, if they're gonna let you smoke cigarettes and drink alcohol, marijuana should be legal. There's no reason for it to be illegal. The only reason why I think it's legal is because it goes against medication, and it would, ultimately destroy some of, like, the profit that comes with medications. And that's just the sad truth, and that's really the only reason why I believe that marijuana is illegal. Um, but yeah, see if I got everything, because I did make a list, because obviously there's just a lot of stuff to think about. But I do. I believe that, there'd be like no real government. It'd be, of course it would be monitored. There would be a couple people that are just kind of making sure things are going the way that's supposed to go, and that things don't get corrupt and, turn back into how it is right now in America and some other countries. Now, the equal food distribution, I think that would be just phenomenal. I think that would solve so many problems. Um, which will also, slow down. With equal food alone, I believe would, you know, take a huge, make a huge positive impact on no poverty, and it would also help with the criminals. I believe there'd be less stealing and stuff like that because I believe a lot of the stealing has to do with, food, or I'm not saying that people don't do it just because, but I believe a big reason for it is to, put food on the table for your family. Um, the free schooling, I'm huge on free schooling. I believe that you should not put a price on someone's education. And, the love of the job, like equal distribution of money towards no matter what your profession is, I believe that would put more people who actually love the job into the positions, making it way better. Like I just honestly believe if you have a doctor that loves the position that he's in and loves being a doctor, it's going to be better than someone that's just doing it for the money. It's just flat out simple. And those of you that say, well, if there's going to be more lazy people that aren't doing jobs because they know they're going to make as money as a doctor, well, no, because you're doing it because you love it. It's not about the money. So if you want to be you know a doctor, you're gonna be a doctor because you want to be a doctor. You want to be a dentist, you're gonna be a dentist because you want to be a dentist. A vet, you're gonna be a vet. You want to be a construction worker, you're gonna be a construction worker because that's what you want to do, and you're gonna be making the same money as someone else. So it's not like an unfair advantage anywhere. And the reason why doctors and stuff make so much money now is because they have to pay all those student loans and shit, which is bullcrap. And people just think, it's just it doesn't work. You know, Now people are like, well, if you want to be on top and be a doctor, you should, study hard and be a doctor. Well, no, because not everyone wants to be a doctor. Only certain people want to be a doctor. People that want to help other people like that and save lives. And there's just like there's gonna be those people that disagree and come up with reasons why I'm wrong and whatnot. But I have stuff that supports my thoughts. So you can come at me with anything that you think may take out my views, but I'm gonna come back at you with something that completely destroys your reasoning why I'm wrong. Um, and we can keep going back and forth. That is a possibility, but you can't bash something that you haven't tried. So that's all I can say. But I can say other things too. But right now I'm just gonna say that's you can't bash something that you haven't tried. Um, you know, because I believe what makes one job more important than others. So why not give them all equal money? There's which I've already said, but again, I'm just gonna say it again. What makes your job more important than someone else's? Nothing. Just the money that comes with it, which is bullcrap. That's just the materialistic world that we live in anymore, and it's just sad that that's the way that people think. Now, I'm not saying we're gonna completely get rid of money because I said earlier that money brings corruption and power, because you need some kind of currency, but you have to monitor it. You have to distribute it equally, and then the people choose how they spend their money. And that's what sets you apart and makes it a legit free country, is that you're free to choose your job. You're free to go to school if you want. You can choose not to go to school. You won't get as good of a job, but you'll still make the same amount of money, which I can see there how that could be bad. But if you want to be something greater, you can. You just have to go to school and do it. uh there's Like I said, these are rough drafts. Things are gonna come up where I'm gonna be like, well, all right, let's change this a little bit. But I'm not gonna get away from the whole, you know, idea. The original idea is, equality. equality is the biggest thing on my mind, is that everyone's equal. So there are going to be ways that, certain people will probably get, you know, some kind of bonus for, being really great at something, and kind of get like a slight bonus, but not enough to, really make a difference, and really put them above everyone else. It's hard, and I believe if we can get a bunch of people that believe in the same things as me, and we came together and kind of got and put our ideas together, it would be a little bit more organized and just work a little bit better. But yeah, those are my ideas of, my utopia, and I, honestly, you know, uh, I don't expect this to happen. I don't expect people to, everyone to agree, because I know there's people out there that are okay and content with the way that things are now. But there are people out there that think like me, and this video is kind of for them. The people that do believe in the same things that I do, and believe that we could have, a peaceful world. Because that's another thing, military. There's no reason for it. There's no reason for military except for to control other nations, which is stupid. Let people do their thing, That's my view. If you don't like what they do, just ignore it, Just let them do things their way and just leave them the fuck alone. Because, the world would be a better place if we just left other nations alone. Now, with this said, I'm, uh, I just, there's just so much, like, that I see wrong, and that, we could fix. But, sadly, I'm just one 20-year-old kid that, doesn't know anything, or, doesn't understand what it's like to control something. But that's the thing, I don't want to control. That's what these other things are trying to do. America's trying to control. The monarchy, the queen's in control, but she really doesn't make the laws. She's just kind of there as like our president. They're just there. The president really doesn't do anything. He's just the face of America. Um, but yeah, so those are my views on, my utopia. And if you agree, leave a comment below. If you've watched this whole video, write down. If you've watched to this point of the video, make sure you type down below, Utopia, and, along with Utopia, give me your thoughts on it. Give me your views, maybe give me some of your ideas, like what you think would help make a better world. And I'd be glad to read and respond to all of you. And yeah, anyways, that's all I got for you guys. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.